Hi, I'm Bob Randall. My wife Liz and I wrote the book, An Ocklawaha River Odyssey. Well, she wrote it, and I took the pictures. Please take a few minutes to watch and experience part of our journey on the Ocklawaha River. This short video is only a portion of the experience and scenery from Ray Wayside Park to Silver Springs. And back early one chilly December morning, it was a 3-hour trip one way. 5 miles of a 58-mile paddle. For the full experience, adventure and history of the river, see our book. Liz and I, apart from our regular jobs, are a photojournalist team. We've been creating books about local Florida history for almost a decade. This video has pictures from our book, along with video clips taken of manatees, alligators, fish, turtles, and birds that cannot be published in book form. Liz and I spent 2 years paddling canoes, kayaks, and motor and pontoon boating on the Ocklawaha River, an ancient winding creek located in central Florida, primarily within Marion County, while its drainage basin strays into Alachua, Putnam, and Orange counties. Like the St. Johns River, the Ocklawaha River is one of the few continental major rivers to flow northward. Our proposed starting point, Silver Springs, drains into the Ocklawaha River and travels along the western and northern boundary of the Ocala National Forest before its union with the St. Johns River, and ultimately the Atlantic Ocean, at the seaport city of Jacksonville. We wanted to begin at the lower Ocklawaha Basin and travel through Putnam County, where the Ocklawaha empties into the St. Johns River. How did Liz and I get here in the first place? This is a good question. Liz, a former New York City girl, and I, an Air Force brat. Well, part of the reason was a break from our last book, a true crime treatise, Murder in St. Augustine. This present book, however, sent us hurling back to the soothing balm of backwoods nature. We were casting around for a new book idea after collaborating, Liz as the writer and I as the photographer, on books about education, The Floating Teacher, Southern history, including true crime, Murder in St. Augustine, mentioned earlier, ghost lore, Haunted St. Augustine and St. Johns counties, and others available online and bookstores. Another reason for this, we'd lived in Florida for close to a half-century. People fly here from all over the world to experience its natural beauty. If there was a treasure in our own backyard, we wanted to experience it. First, we had to find it. And find it we did, in fumbling, naive, and inexperienced ways. Steadier hands, experienced voices, and knowledgeable insights helped us along on our adventure. In river miles, the distance from Silver Springs to the St. Johns River is approximately 58 miles, depending on which source you find your information. It was an ambitious project for 2 amateurs with full-time jobs. Liz and I are not waterway or camping experts. We have spent the majority of our adult lives in North American suburbs. Suburbs are places where there may be an occasional foray into non-landscape terrain, particularly after a hurricane. But in no way does this qualify as roughing it. However, we were motivated. Around this time, Our adult children had decided to move back in with us. It seemed opportune to indulge in the vital domestic concept of space, especially as our interests in the Ocklawaha River required us to spend a lot of time exploring it. Many people contributed their valuable information, expertise, and perspective for this book. We resolved to take our time and travel small segments of the Serpentine watercourse with a name that translates to crooked or muddy, great or dark waters, a title given by the Native Americans who used the shady creek for transportation. We soon learned downstream treks were easier than upstream. Along the way, we met artists, environmentalists, captains, law enforcement officials, conservationists, filmmakers, historians, archaeologists, and local descendants whose lives are inexplicably intertwined with the prehistoric river. From the Ocklawaha River's subterranean and aquatic past to the Seminole Indian Wars, the steamboat era, and political struggles, many voices are integral to the river's survival and to one of the longest environmental conflicts in Florida history, the Rodman Dam, a byproduct of a relic of the abandoned cross-Florida barge canal. Liz and I were keenly aware that in the 2 years it would take us to write the book and photograph the river, we could never approach the level of knowledge held by people who have lived on or around the Ocklawaha River and fought for its survival. We call our book a literary documentary because, in the end, any river is a narrative in which the voices of those who loved it dissolve into one sound, the language of the free-flowing water. Our goal in this book incorporates the sound of the seasoned voices as well as our own novice ones. In fact, we hope the book is a giant shout-out that will attract the attention the river deserves. It is of vital significance to the survival of the river and the survival of the accompanying wildlife and foliage. To incorporate a new generation of leaders who are receptive to the interests of the public and are willing to take control of the discussion about an ecological future for the Ocklawaha River. The story of the Ocklawaha River is ultimately an endemic portrayal of Florida's natural history. We hope you enjoy the book. See our website if you are unable to locate a copy. Thank you.